All right, we're here just a few weeks after the Summer Olympics in Paris with one of the biggest stars from the games, Snoop Dogg. Thanks for joining us here on Forbes Life.
Thank you for having me.
It seems from the outside, that kind of the public perception, the public image of Snoop Dogg has changed, obviously, over the past 30 years. What I'm curious about is, was there intentional effort put into that, or do you feel like kind of the world changed around you?
I just think when you organic and authentic to who you are, eventually the world will catch up. What I didn't do was try to, follow the fads or the trends. I just stayed me the whole way. Even when it was rocky and when it was bad and I wasn't as hot or successful or liked or loved, I managed to continue to be me. And that's something I want to say to everybody that's watching. Stay you at all times. Ain't nothing wrong with being you. Find a way to be you and master that craft and stick with it.
One example of that is kind of, I think, the way that perception of cannabis or the marijuana industry has changed, in the past 30 years. And obviously now you
I would have went to jail if we'd have been doing the interview 15, 20 years ago. They'd be taking you to jail because I'd have gave you all this dope and said it was yours.
When you think about it from like a...
I'm just fucking with you.
You're good.
Like, oh my God, Mom.
Please, no. When you think about it from like a business perspective, to now be someone that works in that field and is making money in that field, I guess, like, how do you process kind of, that change over 30 years?
Well, I wasn't here when Prohibition happened and alcohol was illegal, that it became legal, but I look at it as the same sport. Something that the government definitely had to get control of, and once they was able to, tax it and monitor it, I knew it would become legal. And once it became legal, I did all of the proper steps to make sure that I was able to get into the industry and, not just be used as a victim or used as a face, but I went and met with the MEDs when this thing first started. And I sat down with them and got a real understanding on what I was about. I was about the medical side of it and making sure that we reached the right purpose and the right intentions. And we did things where we reached out to the elders and the patients that really needed it. What showed our true interest was we was trying to show that this is something that could be used for medical purposes and not just for recreational. And once the business, became the business, I was looked at as someone who really cared rather than just try to come in and steal money because I was an advocate. No, I really cared because I have family members that really need this and needed this to survive, and they was dealing with cancer and dealing with certain diseases, and this got them through. So I wanted to be a voice for it, and that was the best way I could do it.
A lot of artists kind of have that wide appeal. Why do you think that you're able to appeal to all different kinds of folks?
Well, I got something for everybody. I do things for kids because I have grandkids and I know how influential they can be. And then I got relationships with people who may be considered as like, elders, like your grandmother. She may be a fan of Martha Stewart, and Martha's a friend of mine.
At this point in your life, you got grandkids. How does that change kind of your perspective on the things that you want to do and your businesses and adventures and things like that?
I really think about my grandkids, and I think about them having kids. And I think about, like, in the perspective of the Olympics, I think about running a race. When I was given the baton, most people were already around the lap 4 or 5 times. But now, at the pace I've been running, I've lapped them 4 or 5 times. So how do I give the baton to my grandkids to where they ahead of the race and they're not behind? And it's a race of not just finances, but a race of stability, peace, and love and harmony. And that's the race that I'm winning right now. So I want to be able to pass that off to my great-grandkids so that way, when my spirit drifts away, they'll continue to move in the spirit of me.